In this video, I just want to look at a couple key plays from the Ohio State-Clemson game and kind of the schematics of it and what people were trying to do. And first play that sticks out is Clemson's punting the ball right here. They're on the minus 15, just giving the ball to Ohio State, and Ohio State comes after the punt and ends up getting a rough the punter call, and then Clemson ends up going down and scoring. So just real quick, we'll kind of look at the schematics of Clemson and their shield punt right here. They have their gunner out here. Of course, he's going to take 1-for-1. Looks like they're kicking it and angling it to the right, which is into the boundary, which is what most teams will do. But right here, this tackle, he's going to end up having 1. He's got 2. This shield is going to have 3. And, if they twist and do all this stuff, that's fine. Eventually, there's going to have to be a 3. He's going to have 4. He's going to have 5. Right here, he's going to have backside. He's going to have backside 4, backside 3, backside 2. And they're going to beat number 1 backside with their spacing. And what teams end up doing, of course, if they keep getting these guys in the A gap, they end up bunching these guys down and stop having so much spacing. Because what they want to do is they want to try to beat this guy. Then they're going to say, hey, he's not going to be able to get there and punt it or block this punt before we can get it off, based off of just spacing. So right here you can see Clemson, maybe they're a little bit tight. They have these 2 guys in the A gap. So he knows that he's got to get to number 4 backside. He's got to get to 3. He's got to get to 2. So they kind of cut it down a little bit and create a short edge right there to come off and get a chance to block the punt. So we'll play real quick and we'll see exactly what takes place. There he is. He's going to 1. He doesn't rush, so he can free release. He's going to 2. Doesn't really rush, so he can free release. They come together on the shield. Right there, he's stepping in for 4. 4 actually is dropping right there. So he really doesn't have anything he free release. He's going to 3. He's going to 2. And the thing about 2 is he's coming pretty hard. He's bucket stepping. He's trying to get a piece of them so that he doesn't have that short edge to get. He's trying to wash them into the shield right there. So he gets a little piece of them, washes them into the shield, and he tries to bend back out. And I think that might be what kind of knocks 26 off of his track, and he just misses his aiming point by a yard or 2 and ends up roughing the punter. Real aggressive play right there by Ohio State. They feel like they had it, and maybe if he doesn't get knocked off or slow down or get bumped a little bit wider on his track, which his track should take him right there to his foot, he winds out a little bit and he ends up roughing the punter. But you can see aggressive call, very near to blocking that punt and creating a big play and a score right there for Ohio State. But instead it goes the other way. Really tight game between 2 really physical and really good football teams. And it came down to 2 or 3 plays like this where they just make those little errors that led to Clemson being able to win and now playing for the national championship. Here's a play from the second quarter right here, first half, where Clemson is setting up the play that actually ends up winning the game right here. So what they end up doing is they're running a counter. They're just running their counter right here. What Clemson likes to do is whenever they have a B-gap player backside is they end up pulling their center for the kick. He gap hinges. Now he's pulling. What they end up doing is they're swinging their back, and they end up pumping it, and they run the quarterback counter back this way. It's the same formation other than whenever they run the play that wins the game, they have ETN over here on this side, and he runs that, the seam right there, the pop, whatever you call it. Still have their twins that side, and they have their fullback over here to the twins. But we'll play it real quick, and you can see they end up getting the double, going backside, pulling the center to kick. He's on the B gap hinge. Now he's pulling for a play side linebacker. But you can see that they're setting up what ends up being the game-winning touchdown right there. Great job putting his play side shoulder. Now Trevor Lawrence going vertical, big body, really athletic, doing a great job. Just falling forward, get 5 or 6, and getting down to play another day. But as you can see, setting it up, not the exact same look that they have for the game-winning touchdown. But they're starting to set it up, and right here you can see, I don't know if it's a read or if it's just a pump to try to get those guys to widen a little bit, faking it, and then he's going back that direction and getting a decent gain right there, but sets up something bigger later in the game. Here's the game winner for Clemson right here later in the game, about 2 minutes left, down 2 on the 34-yard line. They have their back over here on this side as opposed to over here whenever they're running that counter. But what they end up doing is faking counter. You can see they're not trying to get downfield. They're gapping right there, getting a good pull. I believe the center still pulls just like he did earlier. He's pulling. He's outside gap. he just runs straight down the seam. This looks a lot like something that Oklahoma and Lincoln Riley would do. May have kind of tweaked something that they had. Now, what they had over there that they did earlier is they had that back going that way. He faked it and he went this way. The action that the quarterback does is very similar, and he comes downhill just like he did last time. He's doing a great job getting vertical, playing fast. They go inside out, really doesn't matter. We just want to get past him, and then he steps up, creates a good window for the quarterback to see him, and then get it to one of your best players in space, and he does the rest and gets to the end zone. Again, they set it up earlier with some quarterback runs that they had, and now they fake it. Now they have that pop off of it, just like something that Lincoln Riley would do, Oklahoma would do, and they pop it right there to him. You got ETN, probably their best player, space player, one-on-one with the safety, and he finds a way to get into the end zone. Great call, great play by a couple of really good players. This is a play late in the game where it's a lot bigger play than what people kind of put in there. I think a lot of people just thought it was kind of a fade, a little bit of a miss, maybe not quite. Great job adjusting to back shoulder fade or whatever you'd say, but it was really close to being a big play for Ohio State. And what they're trying to do is they're emulating something that Alabama did against LSU earlier in the year. And what you're seeing right here, Ohio State going through their cadence, trying to make it look like they're freezing the play, and they're looking back. And you can see right here, they snap the ball, and they're trying to go vertical outside. If you remember, Alabama completing a 70-yard touchdown or something like that against LSU for a big touchdown, and Ohio State's trying to do the same thing. And once this ball is snapped, it's being snapped right now, you can see he's standing straight up. He's stepping in, so there is a good chance that he can get over the top of him and just stroll into the end zone for a big touchdown right here. But right here, the ball is snapped. He's taking off. All right. Maybe a little bit of a false step just because he's playing a little bit loose, trying to give the illusion that he's not about to run a play so that he relaxes. But that corner is so athletic. He does a great job getting over the top of it and is able to close the space and not let him get any area to go into the end zones. But I thought this was a really big play in the game. Right there, they had a pretty good call, and you can see everybody relaxes. These guys are relaxing. He's looking back at his coach. He's looking back at his coach. He's relaxed, and then that ball snapped, but they're able to react and keep it from being a big play or a touchdown. And you look down here at the bottom, maybe there's a little bit more space even down there for that receiver. It looks like he may have gotten over the top of him, but really big play in the game that could have gone Ohio State's way. It just didn't quite work out. And you think about all the other things that happened with the interception there late. It looked like a miscommunication on a double move, and then of course the fumble or incomplete pass, depending on how you see it, was also a big call. So I mean, amazing game, amazing college football game. Really, really physical. A lot of really good football players out there, and could have gone either way just based off of a few different calls. And I mean, Ohio State just seemed to get the raw end of the deal on a lot of them. But I mean, that's what happens when you're playing really good teams. Clemson did a great job, and I'm excited to see those guys play against LSU. And of course, Ohio State's going to be back, and they're going to be top 2 or 3 team in the country next year as well. But awesome game, and definitely looking forward to this championship.